Hey there guys, Love Them Knives here. Hey, you know what? I've seen this Maxace Lanius knives several times. I just keep paging by it all the time, and I finally decided I'd step up and get one to put on the channel. It's just such an interesting design, and it's a lot like some of the other Maxace designs, a little bit like the Glade and that kind of thing. But this one is kind of a budget deal. It's a steel frame. And there you go, frame lock. So a steel frame lock with 14C 28N Sandvik steel. And it looks like you got a couple little carbon fiber inserts on the blade. But these are G10 inserts here on the scales. So they're grippy. You know, they're cut in, so they're inset here. And therefore, I mean, they didn't do any weight relieving on the inside because, of course, they're milling all this stuff out on the outside. But it matches front and back. I kind of like that. I mean, it's not like just plain on the back and then all the inserts and everything's done on the front. So that kind of interested me. The overall design of the knife I thought was nice. I like this front sharpening choil here. I think that's pretty good. They even did a little milling out there on the flipper tab, which is jimped. And it's centered. It's, needless to say, it's a little heavy for its size. And there it goes. I mean, it's got bearings in the pivot. Stonewash blade. Interesting. I got mine from White Mountain Knives, and it's 78 bucks. So I don't know. I mean, is it worth 78 bucks? It's Sandvik steel, it's steel frame, but you got the G10 inserts, and it's symmetrical, and I don't know. Here's your specs. Not quite 8 inches overall, 3.375 blade length, cutting length, of course, because that huge choil there is 3 inches. Blade thickness, Sandvik steel, Wharncliffe, flat grind, you know, that kind of thing. 4.5 inch closed, that's the handle length. 5.4, made in China. I don't know, I'm trying to decide how I feel about this knife, because there's a lot of good budget knives out there. And, you know, I'm not thinking of I mean, the ones that I think of that would be steel frame knives would be ones that are more from CRKT or Kershaw or something like that. Because the budget knives, well, there's some from Rake and Real Steel, so yes. And they're in the $50-something range, and they're 14C 28N. But this is a little bit different deal. You can see you've got a little bit of jimping here on your backspacer. So they do give you at least some kind of backspacer. They give you a lanyard hole. They give you a pocket clip that really sucks. I don't know. I'm just, this pocket clip, when I flipped this thing over, it's like, what is that? Why didn't they move it like a little further out in the middle and just, you know, let it go, baby? That seems a little strange. And also I like my pocket clips to kind of come up and then even out. If I could find one on the table where they actually did that, it'd be nice. But I don't see one. Oh, here. Well, like that. You know, it flips up, but then it straightens out instead of kind of stays up. Yeah, and this is the rat too, by the way. But, yeah, but it's not I mean, it's not crazy obtuse, and it kind of hits me between these two fingers here. So, nah, it doesn't really present a hot spot. So I guess I'm probably overly picky about that. You can go forward on this blade, which is nice. And will the knife be a knife? Yeah, seems like it's reasonably sharp out of the box. So got a good working edge. Comes in this box. There you go. That's got the model number on it, and it's a fitted box with the little magnetic closure in the front, that kind of thing. Where's my little weight? Let's throw this baby on the scale. Yeah, I mean it's got decent. Now D10. Oh man. Okay, never mind. The D10 doesn't feel all that strong, but I can't throw it out. But I'd only give it about a 5.5 on my scale. But it's a smaller blade, doesn't have a lot of mass, so. But you know, obviously it's holding together. There you go, and it rolls right out. So I didn't take this apart. I've taken Maxace and Stedman knives apart before. They got bearings in them. I don't think they're ceramic, but 152 grams. So let's roll back around to ounces and see what we got. 5.4, and that's exactly what they said on the specs at White Mountain. I'll give you the link, of course, to the White Mountain so you can look at this knife there if you're interested in buying one. I mean, these are pretty thick scales here, although, you know, since they've done this insert, they had to have some material to work with. Looks like it should come apart okay, and these screws are nice. They're not just cheap crap. They look nicely machined. And I like the pivot. That works. And there's your access. You can take it apart with your Torx screws. Doesn't look like you got a lot of things to have to unscrew to get it apart in any case. Now, even though this is a single screw holding this on here, I don't think you're going to have any real problems because it's inset into the scale. So that's pretty tough right there. That's pretty good. Yeah. And the pass-through. Nothing to brag about, but it's there. And it seems to be easy to disengage. It's pretty intuitive. I'm not having to fight it. I'm not having to jam my thumb in there really hard to try and get some traction to push that scale aside. So that's not a problem. Not at all. I mean, it feels good in the hand. And going forward's easy. Reverse grip, yeah, that's pretty good as well. And you know, this kind of end here can be also a striking defense tool or whatever. Right there. Maybe a glass breaker. I could see that. So that kind of situation. Not bad. Overall design, I like. Action seems good. Not overly aggressive on the detent, but I couldn't gravity flip it, so there you go with that. 3.3 inch blade, so it's not a big hog. Not a big hog. Yeah, 3 3/8, about 87 maybe millimeters. And well, if you go all the way to the end of the lanyard, then you got 7 3/4. So not an 8 inch, not quite 20 millimeters. So if you compare it to something like the Para 2, the Para 2 is a bigger knife. Both blade length and handle length, overall length as well, because this is 8 1/4. But you know, they're not real far apart. Yeah, look, they look bitter. They look a bit different now, don't they, on this aspect ratio? But yeah, I mean, you're talking 1/2 inch between the two. So Mannix, this is an 8 inch, a little closer to the regular Mannix. Benchmade grip. kind of right in there with that. And that's the full-size grip. Maybe just a tad smaller, but and you change the aspect ratio. Yeah, it's smaller. So it's a little bit more compact. I don't know as far as, well, let's take a quick look at this overall width. 0.44 of an inch, so 11.3 millimeters. Blade stock, let's see what we got here. And 3.4 millimeters, 0.13 of an inch. So about 3.5 millimeters. About the same kind of blade stock as the Para 2 would have. Got this little top swedge ground in here. Yeah, it's got a decent edge on it. You know, Maxace makes good knives and everything. So this is one of those things that, you know, you have to decide. You know, 5.4 ounces, kind of heavy for a knife under 8 inches, 3.3 inch blade. On the other hand, a lot of guys, 5.5 ounces is nothing to carry. So, and this would be more of a user type knife, not a safe queen in any case. You do have a landing zone here for your, you know, obviously the flipper tab is the only way to open this knife, but not bad there. Real smooth. Fit and finish is good on this knife. I mean, you really don't, you're not seeing the back of the blade here, so you don't have broken lines in this design. It goes all the way around. I mean, it is a continual nice line for the design. Of course, if you don't like these triangle shaped handles, then this is not your blade. But otherwise, yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, I was attracted to the design. I was just interested in putting it in my hands and seeing what I thought of it. There's just so much out there anymore. You're getting into the, you know, anywhere from $40 to $50, $60, $70, $80 price range. Then you got to start thinking of the alternatives. So then it becomes, you know, you're just a couple of bucks here or there, but you got to start thinking, you know, is this the design I want? Do I want a knife that's a little heavier and that kind of thing? I think if they would have done titanium, then the 14C28 and would have been kind of awkward with that, because then the price would have had to go up a little bit. So I don't have a problem with the Sandvik steel. I don't know if they could have done this in a G10 liner lock and made it for, you know, 40 bucks. That might have been interesting, but then you got these inserts in here. I don't know. Maybe this was probably the best call of the considerations for this design. In any case, thought I'd run it by you at least. It does have good action. It's very intuitive, easy to flip. Flipper tab's done well. You know, go forward position, nice big choil, sharp out of the box. So there's a lot to be said for it. I don't know, that pocket clip, I mean, if you think about it, really, couldn't you move that, moved it to the middle, you know, just move it to the middle and just bring it on down? It doesn't, I mean, I've seen clips like kind of come over the G10 on scales and stuff before. I don't have anything sitting at the table I can show you, but, you know, I don't know why they set it over here. I don't get it. I know they didn't want to mess with this, with the inserts, but other than that, I don't think that would have been that big a deal. And I think you could have widened this clip, made it a little bit different shape. Oh well, in any case, yeah, the clip seems a little strange on it. The rest of the knife seems pretty nice, actually. All right, I'm going to leave you with it. I just thought I'd throw this on camera. I've always been curious about this Lanius, and check it out on White Mountain Knives if you like it. There's where you can go get it. Justin's a good guy to work with. Thank you so much for joining me. And Mr. Flanagan, worse for the wear, buddy, on the road. Because you know what we do. We love them knives, so stay sharp.